Hello friends, myself Dr. K.W. Pawar from Department of Botany, रयत शिक्षण संस्थाज राव बहादुर नारायणराव बोरावके कॉलेज, श्रीरामपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, अहमदनगर. Today I am going to deal on the topic that is imbibition. The topic is from the F.Y.B.Sc first year B.Sc class. There is a botany paper second, that is BO 122 Principles of Plant Science, and in that there is the physiological concept, that is the particular imbibition. So today we are going to see the imbibition. In last video I deal on the particular diffusion, and today there is the particular imbibition. Like the diffusion and osmosis, imbibition is also actively involved in the water uptake by under certain circumstances. Like the diffusion and osmosis, we seen in diffusion there is the particular water uptake of water is there, or diffusion of water is there, and in next video we will going to focus on osmosis. Okay, so like the diffusion and osmosis, there is the particular uptake of the water under the particular certain circumstances. For instance, there is the example of the swelling of the dry seeds. Suppose the dry seed that are soaked in water for some time, it gets swell when they put in water, and this is one of the best example of the imbibition. When they put in water, they swells after some time, and this is the excellent or best example of the particular imbibition. Imbibition is the physical process. It is the physical process of taking of water and constant swelling of the particular colloidal material. Here, physical process that are involved the particular constant taking of water, and there is the swelling of the particular colloidal materials. Thus we have experienced sometime in the rainy season, we experience the wooden doors or windows or whatever the wooden works, there is the swelling takes place during the particular rainy season. This is the another example of the particular imbibition. So imbibition is one of the physical process available to the particular plant for the uptake of the water. For uptake of water, it is one of the physical process, and this particular physical process that are available in the particular plants. So friends, one can define what is the actual definition of the particular imbibition. So one can define the imbibition, the uptake or absorption. I am right here uptake. Okay, as I told you, uptake of water in the certain circumstances in case of particular diffusion and osmosis, like here in the imbibition. So one can define the uptake or absorption of liquid. Here I broadly use the word, what is that? There is the liquid. So the uptake or absorption of liquid by solid particle. This is again important. Uptake or absorption of liquid by solid particle of a substance without forming solution, means there is no solution formed. Only there is the uptake of water is there, or swelling of colloidal material is there. there is no forming of the any sort of solution. Suppose in our mind, when solid get uptake the water, then it mix with water and form solution. So this is not here in case of imbibition. Substance without forming the solution is called as the imbibition. Very simple definition here is the uptake or absorption of the liquid by solid particle of the particular substance without forming the solution is called as the imbibition. Then the substance which imbibes substance which imbibes water is called imbibient. Whatever the substance, here we use this substance, particles of the substance without forming the solution. So whatever the substance which imbibes the water, and that particular substance is called as the imbibient. Okay, it is clear now what is the imbibient. The substance which imbibes water is called as the particular imbibient. Okay, then there is the particular imbibition as a special type of diffusion. Imbibition as a special type of diffusion. Okay, so why we called this particular, what is the reason behind this? Imbibition is the special type of diffusion. Here there is the, in case of imbibition, there is the both absorption and adsorption. Here there is the both absorption as well as adsorption phenomenon are involved. Okay, so in why there is the imbibition as a special type of diffusion. In case of imbibition, there is the adsorption as well as the absorption, both phenomena involved. Water enter into the cell. Suppose water enter into the cell, thereby increasing in the volume, and this is called volume. This is called absorption. I told you there are the two concepts, two phenomenon that is involved in the particular absorption and adsorption. So here, for instance, water enters into the cell, especially in case of the plant cell, water into the cell, thereby there is the, when there is the water enter into the cell, ultimately what will happen? Increases in the volume of that particular cell. Okay, and this particular concept, what we called it as the absorption. Then then another thing is that some of water molecule, some of water molecule or molecules are held over the surface, and this is called as the adsorption. Okay, it is clear now. What do you mean by absorption? water enter into the cell, thereby increasing in volume. What we call it as the absorption. And here some of water molecules are held over on the particular surface. The water molecule that are held over on the surface, what we call it as the particular adsorption. The molecules which are tightly held, another thing is that the molecules another thing is that the molecules which are tightly held on the surface of the imbibiant lost their kinetic energy due to the particular immobility. Lost their kinetic energy due to immobility. Okay, so here as we see the absorption and adsorption, then the molecules which are tightly held on the surface of imbibiant lost what happened here? Lost their this important kinetic energy. Lost their kinetic energy due to the particular, because they are tightly held. They can't mobile. So due to this particular immobility, they lost their kinetic energy, and thus what will happen? Thus when the seeds are soaked, this is again example, when the seeds are soaked in water, there is the particular warming of water. And when there is the seeds are here, what warming of particular water, and this is known as the particular heat of wetting. Okay, here what happened? The molecules which are tightly held on the surface of the imbibiant, molecule lost their kinetic energy due to this particular immobility. Okay, and thus when the seeds that are soaked in water or they are put in water, there is a particular warming of the particular water takes place. Warming of water takes place, and this particular phenomenon or this concept is known as the heat of wetting. Okay, this concept is known as the heat of wetting. As I already mentioned that absorption of the water molecule by the hydrophilic colloid and absorption of water molecule by hydrophilic colloids is called as the particular imbibition. The movement of water here, what happen again? The movement of water along with the diffusion gradient. What happen? The movement of water along with the diffusion gradient. Okay, so here there is the movement of water along with the diffusion gradient. So the imbibition is the capacity of gel. Here one can say that imbibition is the, on account of this, one can say that imbibition is the capacity of the particular gel or any other colloidal or any other colloidal material or what we call materials to take up relatively large quantity material take up the relatively large quantity of water and there is the particular swelling, what we call, and swell. Okay, so on account of this, what we call imbibition is the capacity of the gel or what we call any colloidal material, capacity of gel or any colloidal material to take up relatively large quantity of water and swell. So there are the examples from this particular imbibition. Here as we see, there is the imbibition as a special type of diffusion. So swelling of the again doors, wooden works, windows during the particular rainy season. Then absorption of water by the particular cell wall. Another one example is that there is the absorption of water by cell wall. Sealing of the sheet coat is again the example of the imbibition. Then sheet coat, starch, cellulose, agar, gelatin, etc. These are the examples of the particular imbibition. So friends, this is about the concept of imbibition, definition, and imbibition as a special type of diffusion. Okay, thank you.